What if the reason you keep losing women is because you are too afraid of losing them first? Think about that. Most men enter relationships already scared. Scared she will leave, scared she will lose interest, scared another man will replace them. And that fear changes everything. Because the moment a man becomes afraid to lose her, he slowly loses himself. He starts over-texting, over-explaining, overthinking every small change in energy. He notices delayed replies, short answers, dry conversations, and instead of staying calm, he panics, he tries harder. But the harder he tries, the more attraction disappears, because desperation has a feeling, and women can feel it instantly. At first, she liked your confidence, she liked your calm energy, your independence, your focus. But slowly, you stopped acting like the man she met. Now, your happiness depends on her attention. One text from her can make your day. One cold reply can destroy your mood. And without realizing it, you hand her emotional control over your life. That is where the problem begins. Most men think love means giving everything. But when you give everything too early, you leave nothing mysterious, nothing challenging, nothing to earn. And human psychology works in a painful way. People naturally value what feels difficult to lose, not what is constantly available. So now the relationship changes. You start chasing reassurance. You ask questions like, "Are you okay? Did I do something wrong? Why are you acting different?" And every time you ask from fear, you quietly lower your value. Not because communication is bad, but because fear changes the energy behind your words. She starts feeling pressure instead of connection, and pressure kills attraction. Now, suddenly, she replies slower. She needs space. She becomes emotionally distant, and the more distant she becomes, the more you chase. Until one day, you barely recognize yourself anymore, and here is the painful truth. You were so focused on keeping her that you stopped keeping yourself. But wait, because this is where everything flips. And if you understand this next part, your entire dating life changes. A woman should not fear losing you because you manipulate her, not because you ignore her. Not because you play games. She fears losing you when she feels your value. Real value, the kind that comes from self-respect, purpose, standards, emotional control, a life that does not collapse without her. That energy is rare, and rare things are respected. Here is what most men never understand. Attraction grows when a woman feels that you choose her, not need her. That difference changes everything, because a man who needs her acts emotionally desperate, but a man who chooses her acts calm, grounded, steady, and emotionally stable. Now think about this. Why do people obsess over those who seem hardest to replace? Because uncertainty creates emotional tension, and emotional tension creates attachment. But when you become too available, too predictable, too emotionally dependent, there is no tension left, only comfort, and comfort without respect slowly becomes boredom. So, what happens? She stops fearing your absence because deep down she feels you will always stay no matter how badly she treats you. That is dangerous because people rarely value what they believe they can never lose. Now, here comes the second rehook, because this is the moment most men either become stronger or become completely controlled by relationships. The solution is not becoming cold. The solution is becoming centered. There is a difference. Cold men punish emotionally. Centered men protect their peace emotionally. Cold men ignore to manipulate. Centered men step back to maintain self-respect. Cold men play games. Centered men have standards. That is power, quiet power, and women feel it immediately. You want her to fear losing you? Then stop making her your entire world. Build a life that excites you outside the relationship. Focus on your body, your goals, your money, your mindset, your purpose. Because when a man has purpose, he stops obsessing over attention And when he stops obsessing, his energy changes completely. Now she feels something different. She feels calmness. She feels emotional strength. She feels that your life continues with or without validation. And suddenly, she starts investing more because now she sees something she could actually lose. And here is the psychology behind it. Humans value emotional security, but they are attracted to emotional strength. A man who collapses emotionally every time something feels uncertain, feels unsafe. But a man who stays grounded under pressure feels powerful. And power creates respect. Respect creates attraction, and attraction creates emotional fear of loss. Now let's make this real. Imagine two men. The first man panics every time she pulls away. He double texts, overthinks, begs for reassurance. The second man notices the distance, but stays calm. He continues building his life. He communicates clearly, but he does not chase. Who do you think she respects more? Who do you think she fears losing? Exactly, because emotional control is attractive, not emotional panic. Now listen carefully. This does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop abandoning yourself just to keep someone else. That is the lesson. Because the moment you lose yourself in love, you slowly lose attraction too. So here is your challenge for the next week. Stop chasing validation. Stop reacting emotionally to every delayed message. Stop making someone else the center of your emotional world. Instead, focus on becoming harder to replace. Mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, spiritually. Because when your value increases, the fear of losing you increases naturally, without manipulation, without begging, without pretending. And remember this: the strongest man in the relationship is usually the one who can walk away from disrespect without losing himself. If you enjoyed this video and want more deep relationship psychology like this, make sure you like the video and subscribe to Love Decoded Hub and drop your feelings in the comments. Have you ever lost yourself trying too hard to keep someone? I read the comments and your story might help someone else too. And never forget, the goal is not to make her afraid emotionally. The goal is to become a man whose value, peace, and presence are impossible to ignore. That is what makes someone fear losing you. Not pressure, not games, value.